Hello, it's me, Daryl, Florida Catholic guy. It's been a while since I've did a video, so I figured today was as good as any. I don't even remember the last time I did a video. I know it's been quite a long time. Months, many months. Since then we've had Christmas. Well, before that we had the election. Of course that went the right way. We finally got the president we need, and he's doing a great job so far. I mean, he's only been a week into his presidency, but no, he's kicking ass and taking names, so I'm happy. I wish we'd had a little more support from our senators and with his picks. I mean, so far his picks have gotten through. We got a couple, 2 or 3 big ones this week. Kash Patel, we desperately need in the FBI, because there's a lot of stuff he's got to work to uncover, and a lot of people he's got to get rid of. And then Tulsi Gabbard, she's a big one. You definitely need her in there. And Robert F. Kennedy, that's what I was trying to think of. He's definitely a good guy. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of his politics, but I think for the job that he's going to be doing with the health administration or whatever it's called, I think he's who we need in there, because you know, he's got a lot of good ideas and stuff that I'm not too sure I can talk about on this platform, but let's just say we won't have to go through a repeat of 2020 time frame with him in there. So yeah, we just we won. We partied. I partied. In fact, on election night, of course, I was once they announced Trump won, or as the results were coming in, you know, I was drinking, feeling good, and even my mom, after we won, she had I think she had 3 glasses of rum punch, and she doesn't drink. I mean, she drinks, if we go out once in a blue moon, she might have a drink then, or like if I get, you know, some wine on the holidays or rum punch, she might have a little glass. But we were all feeling good on election night. That was a good night. But yeah, that was one for the ages. And Inauguration Day was great. I stayed up. Well, I think I went for my nap, but I stayed up and watched the inauguration and a little bit after that. And then, of course, I got up for the evening stuff when they had their balls, and, you know, Trump had his second speech. One thing nobody talks about, I think it was on the, the rally the day before, the Sunday before the inauguration. He was talking about getting the woke out of the military, and he was playing clips of what the woke military looks like, and then he was playing clips of Full Metal Jacket and saying, we're going to bring that back. And I was laughing all the way. I love Full Metal Jacket. That's my favorite military movie, especially the basic training part. That's the best part of the movie, is the basic training part. The rest is okay, but I love the Arlie Army in there as the drill instructor. He's really good. But yeah, that was great. And so yeah, like I said, he's doing what he said. He's getting the illegals out, and he ain't holding back no punches either. So you don't have to worry about running again. So he can go to it, and he is, and that's good. He's removing all the Democrat voters. Oh boy. Of course, the press and mainstream media is all freaking out, but nobody watches them anymore, so who cares? Yeah, so I've been on a little bit more of a negative note. I've been going through some health issues. Nothing really major, I mean, but back of my legs going into my back have been really, really sore. And I don't know if I talked about it in one of the previous videos, but last year I went to the emergency room about it, and they really weren't able to do nothing or tell me anything, because they took a CT scan and everything was normal there, so they just sent me home. I don't even know if they gave me some painkiller. I think they just told me to take Tylenol, and I went away for a little bit, but the last couple months it's come back real bad, and sometimes I can't even stand for a long time, and I went to a hockey game back earlier in January. The Tampa Bay Lightning against the Bruins. Of course, I'm a big Bruins fan, and I almost didn't go because of that, but last minute I said, you know what, I'm not going to lose. I did try to sell the tickets, but I mean, it was the night before the game, so nobody was buying them, at least at the price that I wanted, and I wasn't going to take any lower than a certain price, even if it means I didn't go or whatever. But anyway, I ended up going, and I'm glad I did, because once I took my Tylenol and everything and took my shower, I had a pretty good night that night. And I met a girl there too, where it's nothing. It's not. She's only in her 30s, and she did give me her phone number, and we've texted back and forth a couple times, but I really don't think she's interested in me as a boyfriend type thing. But hey, if she wants to be friends or whatever, that's good. Actually, I haven't heard from her in a while, so she's probably already lost interest. But it was nice that, it gave me a boost of my confidence a little bit that a girl actually gave me her phone number. So, yeah, that made me feel a little good, even if she doesn't contact me again. At least, she was nice enough to, do that. But the Bruins lost that game. And the worst part is they were pretty much losing the whole game. They started to get back into it a little bit, I think, in the third period. But then the Lightning scored a bunch of goals at the end of the game, so I just got up and left. But right as the game ended, there was a big fight, so I was watching it. They have this big screen outdoors where people that don't have tickets all watch a game. It's pretty cool. They sell drinks and food and stuff outside. So I watched it on the big screen, but I could have been inside watching a fight there. That would have been the most exciting thing of the night. But yeah, at least the Bruins did beat them the next time. They played them a couple days later up in Boston, but of course I wasn't able to go to that game. So yeah, that was fun. I've not been going to church, and I mean, I feel like a heathen, and there's been other issues, sleep issues I've been having, and the thing with my legs is, even climbing into bed is tough. It's, when I try to, stretch out my legs to get into bed and get my sleep position, it hurts. Once I'm in bed, once I'm in sleep position, or whatever you want to call it, then the legs don't bother me at all. So, but it's just initially getting into bed that it hurts. And of course, walking, I haven't done any walking because that's tough. And I've gained a whole bunch of weight. Actually, I was up to like 311 or something like that, and last time I weighed myself, I was back down to 306. I'm trying to start my diet again, so hopefully I can take some weight off, and maybe that'll help with the legs. So other than that, I've been just eating Tylenol like candy. I mean, I haven't been ODing on it or anything, but just, I take it at the times I'm supposed to be, but it's just hard because my mom's had a bunch of doctor's appointments. She has some coming up, and I have to wheel her around in a wheelchair, and that hurts a lot of times, but I get through it. So, I just taking a shower too, that hurts because I got to stand. I've been thinking, my mother has one of those shower chairs. I've been thinking of doing that myself, but I really don't want to do that because I just don't. I'll suffer through it if I have to, I mean, the way I feel is I probably have to, even if it hurts, I have to keep moving to keep the muscles going strong, I guess I'm trying to say. It might be one of these things where I have to go through some pain to get better. So, I'm going to see my doctor pretty soon. I got to call and make an appointment. They've been after me for probably 8 months now to make the appointment. I don't know if it's been that long, at least 3 or 4 anyway. And so yeah, I need to get the doctor's appointment scheduled and talk to him about that and everything. Super Bowl, I'm not even going to talk about that. I hate the Chiefs anyway, but the refs keep giving them the games, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. I mean, I can tell you right now, Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. There's no way Eagles are going to win. I think Taylor Swift has bought the NFL, so they do what she tells them. I call it the NFE now instead of the NFL, National Football Entertainment, because that's all it is. It's not real. It's like World Wrestling. It's like the whatever wrestling federation is called now, WWE or whatever. Yeah, World Wrestling Entertainment. Now it's the National Football Entertainment. So it's just, I don't even want to talk about it because the Chiefs might have won that game anyway, but the referees made sure that they won. They made sure that Buffalo didn't have a chance. And It's just disgusting. I mean, but it's like the game before that. The Chiefs, I forgot who they were playing. Texans, I think. Chiefs were winning by, I don't know, I think 11 points. And like they were winning by 11 points. And the gambling spread was 9 points. So what did they do? Last play of the game, they ran back into the end zone and took a safety, so that they covered the spread. They didn't beat the spread; they covered it. So it's all BS. They set that whole thing up. They want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and they want to show a picture when they're winning and whatever, and whatever, This was my first year without having season tickets to the Bucks games, and I gotta say I did miss it, but I didn't miss it as much as I thought I would. I was just as happy watching it at home on TV. Especially some of those games that were really, really hot. Being out there in the open stadium sucks. So, I mean, and later in the year when it gets cooler, then it's okay, but those early games can be brutal. September, October, that can be brutal being out in the stands during that. Respond to a known problem. And speaking of weather, we just had a extended cold snap last week. It was like 4 days that we didn't get above 50. It was like, I think they said 82 or 83 hours that we were stayed in the 40s and 30s. Daytime was in the 40s. A couple times we got in the 30s. The lowest we got was, I think Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday, maybe Saturday morning. Saturday morning, I think it was. Either, whatever. It was one time last week, and it got down to 34. So I'm sure there was a little bit of frost out there. So I was able to shut the AC off, but I had to put the heat on. Usually when we get cold weather here, it gets cold in the morning. I might have to put the heat on just in the morning to warm it up, but then once the sun comes up and it warms up a little bit, even if it doesn't get into the 70s, even if it only gets into the 50s and 60s, the sun beating down on the house is enough to warm up the house, so I don't need the heat during the day. But this stretch, it was just, cloudy, damp, cold. We got some heavier rain. We got like 1.5 inches of rain over a 2-day period. So we had some heavier rains, but the rest of the time it was just like drizzly and damp and cold and miserable. Now we're in a great pattern now. Now it's, we're in the 70s, sunshine. I think in the next 7 days there's only a 20 or 30% chance of rain. I think that's next Saturday. But it's all going to be in the 70s to near 80, so that's perfect. So we got our winter weather coming back now, so that's good. The people from up north can take their weather back. We didn't get snow here. They got some snow in the Panhandle. I guess they got a lot of snow in the Panhandle. I guess they got some parts got 8.5, 9 inches. So I guess we kind of lucked out with just the cool rain drizzle stuff. So So yeah, that's. I just want to touch on
10-6 for a moment.
Ukraine thing and world events. I won't take long, but I was hoping that Trump would. The one thing I'm not crazy about him with is how he's dealing with Putin and what he's saying, and saying that Putin has to make a deal and Putin has to do this. That's not how it works. Russia is absolutely destroying Ukraine. And I mean, yeah, Ukraine hits a Russian oil refinery here and there and whatever, but I mean, Russia is just taking land like crazy, and Russia's not just gonna stop because Trump says stop. I mean, even Budanov, I think it is, Budanov, he's the leader of the Ukraine military, Budanov or something like that. He said that if this war keeps going like it is, there isn't going to be any Ukraine by the end of the summer. So at least somebody's, in Ukraine is finally waking up and realizing that this isn't going good. And if we just keep antagonizing Russia, and the mistake Trump is making is, he's talking about putting tariffs on Russia, talking about not letting them sell their oil, and, doing this. I mean, we've already been doing all that. I mean, this isn't about oil, this isn't about money, this is about Russia will not stand for Ukraine going into NATO, because that puts NATO right on the border of Russia. And they're not going to stand for that. Just like we didn't stand for Russia putting nuclear bombs in Cuba. So that's the biggest thing. And the other thing that Putin's concerned about is the way that Zelensky treated the Russian people in the Donbass and the eastern part of Ukraine, where it's a majority Russia-speaking population. And I mean, Ukraine was going slaughtering those people. They were, bombing them. This started back in 2014. And so finally, Putin had enough and said, no, we're not going to allow this. And that's when this all started. And they actually did have I think I mentioned this before, they actually did have a peace treaty that was signed back in, when did the war start? 2022? Something like that? 21, 22, something, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, but they had a peace deal initialed. Zelensky and the Russians initialed the peace deal. They were getting ready to formally sign it, and Russia would pull completely out of Ukraine. The only thing they would keep is Crimea, because they already had that. Ukraine was fine with that for this deal. And Ukraine would promise not to join NATO, and they would start treating the Russian citizens in eastern Ukraine like humans and stop, doing the stuff they were doing to them. And then Boris Johnson, he runs over to Zelensky before the meeting to sign it and says, don't sign this. We need you to fight Russia for us, and we'll give you all the equipment you need to beat the Russians. And so that's what happens. And now they're not beating the Russians are beating them. And one of Putin's men, one of the military men, said just a few days ago that we're closer now to nuclear war than we ever have been. And if this doesn't stop, because I mean, there's going to come a point where Russia's going to say enough is enough with Ukraine attacking them. And they're going to launch the Oreshniks again, and this time there's going to be a warhead, possibly a nuclear warhead on it. And after that happens, all bets are off. If that happens, all bets are off. Because who knows what we would do then. But Putin's been the only one that's been, you know, keeping this from getting out of hand. He's been holding back, but I don't think he's going to hold back forever. And so that's where I'm at. You know, things could pop off at any time, you know. There's still a lot of active military stuff going on with the nuclear forces, so things could pop off, and Iran's sending warnings to the United States again and saying if they go after their nuclear facilities, then everybody's going to pay and whatever. And
Rescue 17 available from this call, but out of service for equipment.
You know, the thing in Gaza, you got Trump wants to put the people of Gaza in other parts of the Middle East, and nobody's taking them, but Trump says they're going to take them or they're going to find out. Just like the Colombians tried to stop the illegal immigrant planes from landing, and Trump threatened them with tariffs and sanctions and stuff, and right after that, the Colombians let the planes land. So, as far as that goes, you know, Trump is awesome. You know, he's, I just hope he can, you know, come to the realization that, you know, Russia's in the position of strength, and we're not. We being, well, we're not really part of Ukraine, but we might as well be, because we've been sending them money and everything. Trump's cut that off. That's good. He's still sending them military aid, but he's not sending them loads of money like the other administration did. So, and he's basically cut off all foreign aid. You know, he's going to do an audit on it or something and figure out who we want to give the aid to and who we don't. We're going to, of course, still help Israel. So, that's good. But, yeah, I think that catches up with everything. I know I need to get back into doing regular videos, you know, at least once a week anyway. I should start, you know. It's sometimes it's just hard though, but I'll try to do better. And since this is my first video of the new year, Happy New Year, everybody. What is it, 28 days late? Something like that. Oh, I didn't put my watch on, so... But yeah, something like that. Today's the 28th, I think, 27th, whatever. But, yeah, I'll try to get better at this. And I'd like to say good night, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have a good night. See you in the next one. Bye.